All right, welcome everyone. My name is Manasi Singhal. I'm a member of the Indian Americans of Lexington. I'm also a Lexington High School alumni. This event was put together through the effort of many people and organizations. In the interest of time, we have created an acknowledgement slide video, which will be shared at the end of this program. So welcome to our first Proud to be American celebration. Thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with us. This event started off as a way to highlight Asian American and Pacific Islander figures, something that is very much needed given the recent Globe article where people had trouble naming a prominent Asian American figure, even though our current vice president is one. Students aged 6 and up submitted pictures, write-ups, videos, presentations on an AAPI figure that inspired them. In a country largely made up of immigrants, we embrace celebrating all identities. While many hands and minds worked many hours to bring this project to life, we would like to start by acknowledging ABCL's foundational work in bringing to light racial equity issues in school and the town, and laying the groundwork by expanding the narrative of US and local history to help us appreciate diversity. Okay, now I'd like to pass it on to Christina Lin.
All right. So my name is Christina Lin, always fully prepared, as you can tell. My pronouns are she, her. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how May came to be AAPI Heritage Month. And that's something I didn't even know until we started this project. The month of May was chosen to commemorate the arrival of the first Japanese immigrants to the United States on May 7th. In 1843. And during May was chosen to commemorate that at the beginning of the California Gold Rush, that's when they came. It also marks the anniversary of the completion of the first transcontinental railroad on May 10th in 1869. And as you may or may not know, there were many, the Pacific, the West, half of the Transcontinental Railroad was largely put together, completed with Chinese laborers. Most of the workers who laid the tracks that connected the frontier to the rest of the country were Chinese immigrants. Many years after the initial waves of immigration, the official celebration of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month began as a shorter 10-day celebration in 1977. However, President George H.W. Bush expanded it to a month-long commemoration in 1992. So that's a little bit about how AAPI Heritage Month came to be in May. I'm going to hand this off to Ina, who's going to help run through, give everyone a sense of what's happening tonight, what's in store for us tonight.
Yeah. So my name is Ina Jeong. I'm one of the co-chair. I'm one of the co-chair for Education Committee at Cal. So I just want to say about what Christina just shared. Through this project, I learned so much about Asian American contribution to this country. So this evening we'll play a short video to showcase what we have learned from students. Following that, our guest speaker, Fritz Chang, will tell us a bit about his history and why it is important to recognize the work, life of Asian Americans. Then our audience will have a chance to hear student presentation in a 15 minutes breakout session. After breakout room session, Stephanie Xu from Lexington Human Rights Committee will say a few words. Then we're gonna have a fun trivia game based on the presentation. So be sure pay attention as you listen to our budding historian in the breakout room session. Please stay with us to the end. The big raffle drawing will help us to close out tonight's celebration.
All right. So here we go. We're gonna play the video for you. It's a little 5-minute video, and then move on to the next part of the evening. So.
I belong. I belong here. I belong. I belong. I've been doing the most, out of breath just to show that I deserve to be here too. But what I'm growing to know is I've always been home. There's nothing more for me to prove. I belong. I belong here. I belong. I belong. We all got faulty tapes, looping doubts, looping pain, dusty heirlooms we don't need. But we got what it takes for the cycle to break. Revolution lives in me. I belong. I belong here. I belong. I belong. No matter where we go, go, go. No matter where we've been before. Don't have to feel alone. We're all finding our way home. We belong to each other. I belong. No matter where I go, I belong here. No matter where I've been, I belong. I'm home. I belong. No matter where I go, I belong. No matter where I've been, I belong here. No, I'm not alone. I belong. I'm home. I belong.
She was living in summer, flowers in her hair. No one ever loved her. I love to be there, Whoa. These days, it's not easy, easy, easy. Ooh, 'cause you say you don't need me, need me, need me. Living in the summer, it didn't last too long. And no one ever loved her. I love the way she calls, she calls. These days, it's not easy, easy, easy. Ooh, 'cause you say you don't need me, need me.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that. And thank you so much to all the students, really, because this video would not exist without your work. So today we really have a special guest, one of the AAPI figures that was highlighted in this project. Fritz Chen was very gracious and accepted the invitation to be our guest speaker. So I think I'm going to hand it over.
All right. My name is Fritz Chang. I was born in China. So my Chinese name is Zhang Tongshan. Despite the spelling Chang, which means the surname Chang in current China, but I'm the old-fashioned type. The Chang is actually Jeong. Anyway, before I came to America, I lived in Hong Kong for about 10 years. Then after I came to America back in 1959, which means that I've been in the United States for over 60 years. I want to tell everybody that ever since I landed in the United States, I've been enjoying being an American, an Asian American at least for the last 60 years. There has never been a moment when I didn't enjoy being an Asian American. So that's very important for everybody to know. And it's also important for me to point out that I came to the United States under a little known law that was signed and passed by President Eisenhower. It was called the Refugee Relief Act of 1953. That act allowed 20 refugees from China to come to the United States. In fact, that was only part of a bigger program that allowed about 250,000 refugees from all over the world to come to the United States. So only 20,000 of that large quota were given to refugees from China that lived in Hong Kong or Taiwan. Anyway, I've been living in Lexington for the last 40 years, I would say. I've been in Massachusetts for more than 50 years. I've lived in Lexington for 40 years. I got married in Lexington. Well, no, before Lexington, I got married. And then all my kids, 3 kids, went through the Lexington school system. So I like to say I qualify as a Lexingtonian. Anyway, about 8 years ago, when I retired, or even before that, let me go back and say a little about my background. I took up, when I was in college in New York City, I majored in chemistry, and afterwards I changed over to physics. But when I was an undergraduate, I took up fencing as a physical education class, which was one of the required courses in the curriculum I was in. Anyway, so one of the courses I took was fencing, and I loved it mainly because I was affected back in the 1950s. I was affected by an American movie called Scaramouche. And that is a very, very famous fencing movie that I watched several times. Anyway, so that's why I took up fencing when I was in college. And ever since then, I have been trying to fence whenever I had a chance. So fast forward to about 8 or 9 years ago, when I retired from a full-time job, I decided to teach fencing to my grandkids who are living in Lexington, Kaiten and Melina. Actually, earlier, when my children were in elementary school and high school, I taught fencing to them. And they all loved it, and they all moved on to, when they moved on to college, they all fenced on the fencing teams of their respective college. Anyway, so I decided to, after my retirement, I decided to teach fencing to my grandkids, and they loved it too. Since they loved it so much, I thought it was also a good chance for me to share fencing with other kids in the community. So I opened a club, fencing club, and lots of children in the community came and signed up for fencing. So that's my involvement in fencing. And I've loved every minute of it. And so have all my grandchildren. So that's my fencing background. So if anyone has any questions about who are interested in the other aspects of my life or my fencing program, I'll be glad to talk about it now or after the program is over. So any questions?
Well, Fritz, thank you so much for sharing your story. You were talking about when you first came, I guess I was wondering, what was it that made you decide to stay here in the US when you first came here?
That is a loaded question. That will, I didn't come over here as a student. I came here as a refugee. We could not live in China under the communist regime. Traditionally in China, all the children depended on their father or grandfather for a living. When the communists took over China, they took all my grandfather's land, real estate, and everything he owned. And as a result, the third generation, even my father's generation, could not really make a good living in China. Besides, during the Japanese occupation of China, we ate we had very, very little to eat. Then when the Japanese were driven away and the communists took over, we had nothing to eat. So we had nowhere to go but to go to Hong Kong at the time. And then that was in 1949. And then in 1953, the US government recognized the plague of all the refugees or victims of communism all over the world, Europe, China, Asia. So that's why they passed the Refugee Relief Act of 1953. Over 250,000 refugees came to the United States. And I was, when our family came over here, it took us 19 days to come to the US because back in those days, jet travel was very expensive. So actually we came over in a boat. The boat ride took 19 days. I enjoyed it though. I played 19 days of ping pong on the boat. And also I gained 10 pounds between the time I boarded the boat and when I first landed in San Francisco. So that's that answer should give you a good answer to your question, Christina.
I think that's a fantastic answer. We actually have a couple of questions from students, and then we'll move on. But we'll have to make these quick. So Nathan, if you can unmute yourself, do you want to ask your question?
Did you win all of your famous battles?
I'm sorry, did I?
Did you win all of your famous battles in fencing?
I can't really say I won all the major tournaments.
Yeah, that was what I was basically asking about.
I'll simply say this. I did win. Now, I won't say win. I did do well in one major competition that was held in Moscow, Russia. It was the World Championship of 2009 held in Moscow, Russia. I came in third place in that particular competition. So I can't say that I won, but I did come in third place for my age group in that particular year. And afterwards, I competed in the same competition in 2010 and 2011, but maybe people got wind of it and more people participated in it. I came in sixth in one in 2010 and came in maybe eighth or ninth in 2011. So those are the major tournaments that I competed in. And I'm pretty proud of myself because first of all, I'm only an amateur. I'm not a professional. So to be able to participate in those tournaments, it was very, very challenging. In fact, the ones, as I said, I came in third. The ones that came in first and second, they were all either Olympians or world champions. So I was, for 1 year, I was in the same class as they were.
Okay. Well, thank you, Fritz. We have another question, but we're gonna have to move on because we're
Sure,
running
of
way
course.
behind. So, but I'll just read the question out loud, and then maybe we can put you in touch with the person who asked the question, or at the end of the event, if you're still both still here, we
No, of
can
course, of
open it up.
course,
So just so you know, the question is from Jeong, and they're interested, or in knowing if you experienced any discrimination as Asian over your time here in the US, and if you noticed any change that concerns you. So,
Well, give me 5 seconds to answer that.
okay, 5 seconds, right?
Yeah. Okay, I would say no. Maybe it's because I'm not sensitive to such to this kind of thing. Maybe being insensitive to such matters, maybe it's a blessing, maybe it's a curse. I don't know. But I have not experienced any obvious discrimination. Neither, I must also say, neither have my children, 3 children, especially in social circles or in their efforts to look for employment or even in college. I don't know. So people will challenge me on that statement, but that's a quick answer.
Okay,
That
thank
took 6
you.
seconds, maybe.
All right, so thank you for sharing. Mona, did you want to do your quick thing?
Well, it's pretty hard to follow Fritz, but I'll try. Speaking of Lexington legends, I'm not sure if those of you noticed that we have with us Sophia Ho, who was actually featured by a student, and she's here with us tonight, working, I kid you not, as one of the room moderators. It is the grassroots dedication to community efforts that keeps us growing and connected. Sophia has been and continues to be one of those shining beacons of leadership through example. Sophia, who is really auntie to many of us. You should know that many Asian American women, including those of us on the planning committee, look up to you, and so much good work in Lexington is seeded by your example. We just wanted to give you this shout out because we love you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mona. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Fritz. I'm Jeong, one of the co-chairs of Education Committee for Cal. So we will start our student presentation portion of the evening where audience members will get a chance to hear a little more about what inspired students to choose their AAPI figure and the impacts these Americans made. After the breakout, we'll test your knowledge and then run the raffle. So please don't leave the Zoom session at the end of the breakout. Our technical team will automatically end the breakout session, so you don't have to do anything. So Matt, I think you can put us into the breakout room now. All right, so are you guys ready for the trivia game? So when we were planning the celebration,
play a trivia game. Now I think I can leave.
Gwen, it's up
Yeah.
to you. They're so cute.
So when we were planning the celebration, we knew that we wanted to incorporate a fun little game, and we're extremely lucky to have Jun Ishibashi, one of the students, pipe up and offer to create a Kahoot game. So for anyone older than 18, you may have a little technical challenge, but the kids are experts after 1 year of remote learning. The top 5 winners will win a prize. So Joan, can you tell us how to play the game?
Okay, so I'm about to send you this this link. You're gonna go to this link. So when you hit this link, you will be taken to a website that tells you to enter a PIN code, and I'm gonna just share my screen. Okay, and this is the PIN code on your screen. Okay, so this is the proud to be throughout the American Kahoot. So the first question, Jeremy Lin, one of the most famous Asian American basketball player, went to which university? Okay, most people nailed it. Nice. Well, he did go to Harvard under a scholarship. Okay. Keanu Reeves, whose grandmother was Chinese Hawaiian, is most famous for his role in which film series? Okay, yeah, that one was definitely a lot easier. He was in John Wick. Pretty obvious. Okay. Bruce Lee, the famed Chinese American martial artist and actor, trained under which legendary figure? Okay, so Ip Man actually is a film series, and in one of the most recent series, Bruce Lee actually appeared, but it was not the original, of course. Okay, Tiger Woods, the legendary golfer, has scored how many hole-in-ones in his career? Okay, wow. Okay, some people guess 41. I bet he has the ability to do that, but hasn't done that yet. Okay, Kang Young, the famous Korean American actor, has appeared on numerous shows as a doctor, but he is a licensed. Okay, licensed physician. That was, wow, people got that right. Okay, someone's number one the entire way. Okay, Mindy Kaling, the Indian American actress, played the part of which character in The Office? Okay, everyone's getting it right. Okay, so she actually played all 4 roles, but she played. Charles John Peterson was a researcher in what field? Okay, yeah, organic chemistry. Astronomy makes sense, but unfortunately, that was not the right answer. Dr. Wu Jianxiong worked on the Manhattan Project, which aimed to develop what kind of technology? Okay. Wow. People definitely are very knowledgeable of their history. Okay. This beautiful dress designed by Lulu Yang is named. Okay, wow, people are getting this right. Very nice. The accomplished Spencer and our special guest, Rich Chen, worked for what government organization? Okay, he's a retired FBI agent. In the case of United States versus Wong Kim Mark, served as an important precedent to the decision on what? Okay, this one was a giveaway. It actually appeared in the video at the very beginning. Okay. At age 21, Maya Lin won which of the following architecture contest? Okay, those the more memory contest, and people are getting these right. Okay. Yo Imad, famous cellist, started his performance at the age of. Well, he actually started at the age of 4, and that is pretty amazing. Okay, which of the following is the work of Grace Lin, author and illustrator of children's fiction and fairy tale books? Okay, nice. These are all valid answers, of course, because there are children's fiction fairy tale books, just not by Grace Lin. Samuel C.C. Tim was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for what? What did he do? Okay, nice. And all the answers, everyone that did any of these 4 things won a Nobel Prize in Physics. Okay, this one's a multi-select. You get to choose multiple answers. Okay, which of the following are small Khan's notable achievement? Okay, this one is kind of a giveaway. You can't really win a Nobel Prize. That's not a thing. Yeah. I.M. Pei, the famous Chinese American architect, designed which of the following building? Okay, another dead giveaway. If you look at the image really, really, really hard, you can see the answer. But you have to look at really hard. And Petit Louvre is not, it's called Grande Louvre. You can, yeah. In 1988, Kalpana Chawla began working at NASA Ames Research Center, where she did what kind of research? Okay, so a lot of unfamiliar terms here and very hard question to guess. Okay. Bhagat Zinn, in his trial in the Supreme Court, was denied citizenship because of which of the following reason? Okay, so this one was also in the video. He failed to meet the definition of white or black person. Okay, another multi-select question. Tommy Darkworth, the legendary site American, is known for being what did she do? Okay, very nice. She was actually helicopter pilot in the Iraq War, and she actually lost her limbs in the process. She was also elected to the Congress of Illinois as the first Asian American woman. Okay. There's also another multi-select. Which of the following is an interesting fact about Summer Buckled? Okay, well, these two were very interesting. She didn't do either of those. Okay, Botal Urabe is or was a member of the President's White House initiative on the AAPI under which administration? I think one of them could be eliminated at a glance, but yeah. Nice. It actually comforts me that one of the options is not picked. Okay, another multi-select question. Nikki Haley, the Indian American politician, served as what? Okay, yeah, she was both of these. She was the first female governor of South Carolina and also a U.S. ambassador to the UN. Kamala Harris says, this is a dead giveaway. Please don't get this wrong. Let's just say this was a dead giveaway. Okay, what started Fred Koremon's political career? This one was in the video, if you could recall. He got sent to a Japanese internment camp where he refused his arrest, and that started his political career. Okay, the famous ice skater Christy Yamaguchi was also a she was a New York Times bestselling author, and well, she did appear as a guest on American Got Talent, but didn't actually. Was not a judge. Before becoming a renowned fashion designer, Vera One was, what did she do? Yeah, she was editor at Vogue, and yeah, pretty awesome. Before Alison Onizuka became a national astronaut, he was in what? He was in the Air Force. He actually got recruited from the Air Force to NASA. So. Okay. Pretty close game. Michelle Kwan, widely considered as the greatest of all time in figure skating, won how many world championships in her sports? Yeah, she won 5 championships. I think it's good enough. Didn't have to be 11. Okay, last question. A multi-select question that decides the fate. Patsy Takeuchi, which of following is true about Patsy Takeuchi Mink? Okay, she was interrogated after her father was interrogated after Pearl Harbor, and she was denied by 12 medical schools. But still had a very successful career. Okay, so the podium. Okay, so the reason Simon won, even though that he got less questions correct, is because he was on a streak, and this is how Kahoot works. Whether it's, yeah, that's how Kahoot works.
Congratulations, winners. I'm just really amazed. I did try round with June. I did really poorly. So you guys really awesome. So what a fun game. Next, Stephanie Shu from Lexington Right Committee will address the audience about this project on behalf of the town of Lexington. Stephanie, please go ahead.
Hi, thank you. I'm Stephanie Sue, clerk of the Town of Lexington's Human Rights Committee and proud mother of PI kids. I learned a lot tonight, and the town is really proud to be a co-sponsor of this event, as well as the month-long Proud to be American initiative. Really a special thanks to all of the many cultural groups who put in countless hours to bring this initiative to Lexington, as well as the many students who worked very hard and taught us all a lot about API figures and how they have been a part of building the fabric of America for centuries. In a little over 2 weeks, on June 13th, we will continue to celebrate with Race Amity Day. It's an intergenerational program with art, music, and inspirational stories uplifting cross-racial friendships. You'll see a lot of people that you've probably seen tonight and that you know out throughout Lexington. Again, it's on Sunday, June 13th at 1 p.m. on Zoom, and we hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's our raffle time, Jianhua.
All right, let me share my screen. Just when you think you have had enough fun tonight, we have we're going to do 2 raffle draws.
Draw is for $100, right?
Yeah, so the number will pick 2 lucky winners for tonight. Each will win a $100 gift card. We since we kicked off the project in late April, I think we received 84 submissions. Some students submitted multiple times, so their name will show up quite a few times and their chance of winning is higher. So let me just start the spinning for the first winner. Ooh, number 17, who is that? Oh, that is, I think it's how do I pronounce the name?
It's yeah, Raquel.
Raquel. I think she's not from Massachusetts, I remember.
Yeah. She's not be able to attend.
Let's do the second drawing. Let's let's see who is our lucky winner for 43. Sanjay Lakshman.
Yeah, he's not here.
All right, so that concludes our raffle drawing for tonight.
Okay, so I will announce the top 5 of the Kahoot winners or competitors. That would be great. So number 1 was Simon, number 2 was Caden, number 3 was Melina, number 4 was nickname MS14 something.
1425.
1425? Yeah. And then number 5 was Dana. I'm not sure if I nailed that. Probably not.
Yep. Congratulations. You guys did great.
Way to go, Clark.
Oh, okay. So, I guess we're almost done. I just want to share the credit roll a little bit.
Heart and soul, I fell in love with you. Heart and soul, the way a fool would do, madly, because you held me tight and stole a kiss in the night. Heart and soul, I begged to be adored, lost control and tumbled overboard gladly. That magic night we kissed there in the moonlit. Oh, but your lips are thrilling, much too thrilling. Never before were mine so strangely willing. Now I see what one embrace can do. Look at me, it's got me loving you madly. That little kiss you stole held on my heart and soul.
So anyway, I hope you all read really fast.
Yeah, I just feel the website was had a lot of work from our students, and that website will stay there. And if any audience are interested, wanted to review again, please do. So a wonderful event, and thank you for everybody's effort. Hopefully we can do that next year.
Yeah, thank you for staying an extra half hour. You guys are hardcore.
Yeah. So can I just have all the organizers who are online, still online, just say something or wave for the audience?
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. That was great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Joey.
Thanks for participating.
Thank you, Fred.